Welcome back to a Rough Cut Homestead. If you're a foreigner who has cashed out Chinese social and/or medical insurance, then you have exactly the type of expertise we want to hear about, because we're crowdsourcing and sharing experience so that you can get on with it faster. If you're a foreigner holding social insurance assets and planning to leave China, then stick around, because what you'll find here is not a travel guide, but it could be your GPS. Let's go. A quick background on the Chinese social insurance system to set the stage. China introduced foreign contributions into their social insurance system first as optional contributions in 2009, followed by mandatory contributions in October 2011. The Chinese social insurance consists of 5 plans: pension, medical, unemployment, work injury, and maternity, plus a housing fund. Foreigners contribute to 3 of those plans: unemployment, medical, and pension. Each province maintains their own accounts, so if you move from one province to another, then you'll have records in each province. China has bilateral agreements with a number of countries concerning those pension contributions. Canadians, for example, are not required to pay into the Chinese pension plan if they've maintained residential ties and are still paying into the Canadian pension plan. Maintaining residential ties with Canada while living abroad comes with a number of hassles, including a yearly tax filing obligation. I intentionally severed all residential ties with Canada before coming to China 23 years ago, specifically to avoid that obligation. Employees contribute 8% of their salary and wage to their pension fund and 2% to the medical fund, up to a maximum monthly contribution limit. Those contribution limits vary according to province. Everyone contributes into the plan for 15 years in order to qualify for a monthly pension. The Social Security Bureau maintains a portal in which contributors may log in and check the cumulative balance of both their pension and medical insurances. Foreigners can apply to terminate their pension fund and withdraw the cumulative amount of their individual contributions plus interest. Applications must be made between the 5th and the 26th of each month. They can also apply to terminate their medical fund. I wasn't able to find any details on this, but I assume this also applies to their individual contributions with or without interest. If you know the answer to that question, then demonstrate your Kung Fu Shifu in the comments below. The cash out will need to be paid into a valid Chinese bank account, and you'll need your associated mobile phone in order to verify your identity, so don't get rid of either of those until after you've cleared this hurdle. I've read conflicting information about how long it will take for the payout to reach my bank account, anywhere from 30 to 60 days. And that's problematic, because my visa, which is my permission to remain in China, is tied to my work permit, my permission to work in China. My visa is only valid for 30 days after my work permit is canceled. So, like most other milestones here, timing is critical. Let's talk specifics. I've worked for the same company in China since 2009, and I've contributed into the Chinese pension and medical systems since 2011. However, the company I work for has moved from one province to another, which means that I'm going to have to run through this process twice. I'm first going to attempt to cancel my Shanghai social insurance, since contributions to that system ended several years ago. I contacted the Shanghai social insurance hotline, and I was able to connect with an English-speaking representative. She advised that I need to return to the district office in which my account was established in order to cancel it. It took several tries in English and with some help in Chinese, but I was able to get the address. The first rule in dealing with any bureaucrat is remain calm, remain polite, but remain steadfast. The second rule in dealing with any bureaucrat is, if at first you don't succeed, try and try again. Sometimes the answers are different depending on who you speak to, but eventually your luck changes, as mine did. My HR advised that in order to cash out my Shanghai social insurance, I would need to show the Bureau all of my original passports, their Chinese translation bearing a seal of the translation agency, and a bank card in my name. Cashing out the medical portion can only happen after I cash out the pension portion, so this is a step 1, step 2 process. Cashing out the medical portion requires the same documentation and may require an appointment if the account balance is over 10,000 RMB. That's currently around 1,900 Canadian. China has done a great job in providing English language service for most departments. However, the Social Security portal lags behind. As a result, and I'm a little bit embarrassed to say this, but I actually have no idea how much money I have in those accounts because I've never been able to view them. The way I figured it is, contributions are mandatory, contributions are regulated, and I knew that I could withdraw the contributions if I ever left China. So why be concerned about how much is in there until I actually needed to know it? Well, the direction my life is headed, now I need to know it. Although not mentioned by my HR, two other sources suggest that additional documentation may be required, including a certificate of employment termination with photocopies, a social security card with photocopies, and copies of the business license. It's been my experience that most Chinese institutions are going or have gone paperless, with banking being a prime example. Therefore, it would not surprise me if the Shanghai Social Security Bureau will opt to take in-process images of my documents rather than receive photocopies. However, if photocopies are required, most bureaus provide a for-fee service desk that can produce them. I found a 14-year-old email indicating the password that my HR used to set up my account. Remember that I've never accessed this account, so I don't know if the password is correct or if it's even still valid. Although no one has mentioned my needing this, obviously I'm going to take along the password just in case. Certain Chinese departments have, in the past, required Chinese-only names. Although I don't expect my Chinese name to be associated with any of my social security records, I'm still going to take along a Canadian consulate notarized declaration indicating my Chinese name just in case it's needed. So, I have the passports, I have the translations, I have the bank card. I know the address of the district bureau in which my account was created, and I have a variety of supplemental documents. With those in hand, I plan a trip to Shanghai to take my first shot at this. I expect that I will complete an application form, probably process some other documents, show them my originals, provide them with any photocopies that they ask for, and hope for the best. Sources suggest that the cancellation application can be processed the same business day, but that I may need to actually return for the withdrawal payment. Despite all the preparation, I put my odds at getting through this in one go at about 60%. I'll do a follow-up video to show you exactly what went according to plan and what went completely off the rails, so that others don't need to make the same mistakes I make. If you've ever cashed out your Chinese social insurance, or you have expert advice on how best to do this, then please share in the comments below. Together, we can help others recover their health and pension contributions when leaving China, and avoid costly mistakes in the process. With that, it's time for me to go. Good luck to us all in what lies ahead, and you're always welcome back at a Rough Cut Homestead. Good night, Joe.